connections over the span of their adult life. The study he describes focuses on London's cab drivers. Now, this study shows us how impressive forming new connections in the brain can be. He says they, the cab drivers, undergo intensive training to pass what's called Knowledge of London. Knowledge of London. Now, this is a memorization test of London's extensive roadways, 320 different routes, 25,000 individual streets, and 20,000 landmarks. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of stuff, right? Now, a group of neuroscientists from the University College London scanned the brains of several cab drivers. And each driver's posterior hippocampus, now that's the area that's vital for memory, spatial memory in particular, had grown physically larger than that same region of the control group. He goes on to say that the longer a cabbie has been doing the job, the bigger the change. Now, what does that really mean for regular folks like you and me, who don't drive a cab daily in London or anyplace else, right? And who don't have to have extensive knowledge of hundreds of roads, right? Thousands of streets and thousands of markers and monuments. Well, similar to cabbies, similar to cab drivers, all the people in our lives, all the places we've been, all the moments and events and experiences we've had thus far in our lives, all the people, places, and circumstances have changed the physical structure of our brains. Now, this includes the family you were born into, the culture you were born into, the culture you live in now, your friends, your classmates, your coworkers, your neighbors. It includes every magazine you've read, every TV program you've watched, every radio program you've listened to. Yeah, like this one, right? Okay, what you actually do for work, every conversation you've ever had, all the activities you've engaged in thus far, all of these have left an imprint on your brain, an indelible imprint on your nervous system. And as you go forward in life, in other words, as you continue to age, your brain's flexibility and what you choose to expose it to matters deeply. Let me say that part again, okay? Because this is really important. As you go forward in life, as you age, continue to age, right? Your brain's flexibility and what you choose to expose your brain to matters deeply. Now, this is true whether you're 26, 36, 46, 86, or beyond. As you go forward in life, as you continue to age, your brain's flexibility and what you choose to expose it to matters. Now, many of us know this intuitively, right? And guess what? Research now also shows the same thing. One of those studies is a longitudinal study. In other words, it's carried out over a long period of time. This research project followed about 1,100 clergy members from across the U.S. For 23 years, this group has undergone regular psychological and medical tests. And in examining the brain tissue from members of this group, the research team expected to find clear links between cognitive decline and the three most common causes of dementia. Okay, those are Alzheimer's, stroke, and Parkinson's, right? Well, they didn't find what they were looking for. Instead, they found something else. Here's what they found. Some people showed the pathology of full-blown Alzheimer's. That's when the brain's tissue is just ravaged by the disease, right? So they had full-blown Alzheimer's, but no cognitive loss. The pathology of full-blown Alzheimer's, okay, ravaged by disease, but no cognitive loss. Now, they were scratching their heads and wondering, what's going on? Well, they went back to work. The research team went back to work. Here's what they found out. Cognitive exercise, in other words, keeping the brain active by doing things like crossword puzzles, playing games, playing or making music, reading, dancing, driving, gardening, learning new skills, having responsibilities, conversation, having a social network, physical activity. All of these activities, and then some, are what they call protective. Now, the research study participants in this group who had diseased brain tissue but no cognitive loss had built up what is known as cognitive reserve. Cognitive reserve. Now, what does that mean? As certain areas of the brain degenerated, other parts of the brain, the well-exercised areas, took over those functions. Imagine that. Now, this study is huge. It's hugely important. Hugely important. Why? Because it clearly demonstrates that it's possible to protect our brains and slow down the process of aging. It means that we can start doing this right now. Today, right now. And the younger you are when you begin doing it, the better. Eagleman reminds us we're at an unprecedented moment in history, one in which the brain and brain science and technology are co-evolving. We can now hack our own hardware, right? And as a result, our brains don't need to remain as we've inherited them. We're now just discovering the tools to shape our own destiny. Who we become is up to us. Pretty cool, right? Who we become is up to us. In other words, you are what you consume. You've heard me say this on other shows, right? You are what you consume. You are what you do. You are what you read. You are who you hang out with, your friends, right? You are what you sing, what you dance, what you do. Yes, you are what you eat, literally. So let's talk a little bit about that. Now, for those of you who are counting, this is habit number 5. You are what you eat. Let's take a look at the brain-boosting benefits of taking you are what you eat to heart. In fact, let's just simplify it, because you are what you eat boils down to 2 key things, okay? 2 key things. When you're choosing your food, be sure to, number 1, choose and eat more foods that offer nutrients that help your brain. I'm going to repeat that. Choose and eat more foods that offer nutrients that help your brain. And number 2, limit foods that are high in saturated fats and calories, but have low nutritional value. Okay? Number 2, again, I'm going to repeat it. Limit foods that are high in saturated fats and calories, but have low nutritional value. Now, this is not new for some of us, but it continues to be news because we haven't really taken it to heart and integrated it into a healthy living and lifestyle. Now, this particular advice comes to us from Martha C. Morris. She's the Director of Nutrition and Nutritional Epidemiology at Rush University Medical Center. She's also the chief creator of what's called the MIND, M-I-N-D, approach to eating. This approach comes from proven research focused on heart-healthy and blood pressure-reducing routines. Here is her sound and very good advice. I'm going to give it to you kind of in science language, and then I'm going to break it down, all right? So the top nutrients in your eating routine, the top nutrients are these: vitamin E, B vitamins, that's the whole B complex of vitamins, there are lots of them, with all have little numbers after them, right? Omega-3s, some of the carotenoids, lutein in particular, and flavonoids. Repeat it: vitamin E, the B vitamins, omega-3s, some of the carotenoids, lutein in particular, and flavonoids. Now, what are some of these things? What are we talking about? Okay, carotenoids help give orange vegetables their color, like carrots. Okay, now carrots come in a lot of different colors these days, but okay, the orange ones is what we're talking about. All right, they also include sweet potatoes. Okay, in fact, there are very few foods in our world that have as many carotenoids as sweet potatoes. Dark leafy greens. Okay, that's why they have that vibrant green color due to the carotenoids, and tomatoes. Okay, flavonoids. What are those? Well, the main dietary sources of flavonoids include tea, citrus fruit juices, berries, red wine, apples, and legumes, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you a little list of the top 10 foods to choose and eat, and then the top foods to limit every week, okay? Notice I have not said the word diet. I've said in your approach to food, in your approach to healthy living, in your approach to having a healthy brain. So here we go. Choose and eat these foods. Number 1, 6 or more servings of leafy green vegetables every week. That's about a salad a day, okay? 6 or 7. 6 or more servings of leafy green vegetables every week. Number 2, at least 1 serving of another vegetable every day. This is in addition to the vegetables in that salad, okay? Number 3, more than 2 servings of berries per week. And I'd say go seasonal, right? If you live in the northern hemisphere, it's basically strawberries in the summer, blueberries in the fall, blackberries in the fall, and raspberries, some berries. In my part of the world, you can get just about any time of the year because they can grow them hydroponically these days, okay? They can grow lots of things that way. Number 4, you want to make sure that you have more than 5 servings of nuts every week, okay? And nuts sometimes include seeds. So some examples would be walnuts, delicious, almonds, chock full of vitamin E, cashews, make sure to get them raw, not salted and roasted, and sunflower seeds, hazelnuts. So walnuts, almonds, cashews, sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, hazelnuts, okay? And there's so many more you can choose from. Number 5, instead of butter, use extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so if you want something on a piece of bread, don't use butter. Use the extra virgin olive oil instead. And also use it as your primary cooking oil. That's what I've done. No more canola oil, no more corn oil, right? Use extra virgin olive oil. Number 6, have more than 3 servings of whole grains every day. Number 7, eat fish that's not fried at least 1 meal per week, okay? Fish that's not fried for at least 1 meal per week. So that means you can saute it, you can broil it, you can grill it, you can poach it, you can bake it, right? You can steam it. You can even have it from a can, but not fried fish. Number 8, choose and eat beans for more than 3 meals per week. That means you should eat beans about every other day, right? You can have beans in soup, in chili, in a burger, in a stew. You can have beans in hummus. You can even make your own. Pretty yummy. Number 9, choose and eat poultry for more than 2 meals every week. That means you can have chicken or turkey, or guinea hen or Cornish hen, or any other kind of poultry or fowl, right? Okay, for variety. And number 10, now this is only if you can have this, and that's drinking a glass of wine every day. Now there's some of us who are avoiding alcohol, so that's not for you, right? Number 10 is not for you. So choose and eat those foods, right? Limit these foods. I'm going to give you 5 of them. Limit the following 5 foods. Number 1, limit butter. If you're going to have it, limit it to 1 tablespoon a day. Pretty simple. Limit cheese. Limit cheese to less than 1 serving every week. Limit red meat to fewer than 4 meals every